Which language is that? Dutch?
Dutch. Why? Are you Dutch?
No.
This is in old Dutch, and it was done in memory of a Dutch governor who died in a castle and was buried here. He's called Van Zet, and he comes from Zeeland. Zeeland is a province in Dutch or Netherlands. He was the last Director General of the Dutch West Indies Company. He came here 16 January 1758 and died 12 March 1758. So he spent just 3 months here. And he died at the age of 41. And he died of malaria. And at that time, we had a Dutch priest called A. Andres, and he wrote his tributes that Van Zet is humble, honest, and God-fearing man. God-fearing man. And right there, you can see the wooden writing magazine. Have you seen it?
Yes.
Above it, there is a metal W sign.
Yeah.
The W sign is the logo of the Dutch West Indies Company, original. From here, we are going to the two cells over there. I'm going to love you guys. So here we have two separate cells here. First one, cell for European soldiers who were misbehaving. The second one with a skull and crossbones, which means death is a condemned cells for Africans. So we are going to compare them. Let's go in. Oh, don't be afraid. Please come in.
Enter and let them lock.
Oh, I'll not lock this door. Please let me get. So please come in. We are in the cell for European soldiers who got themselves drunk and were misbehaving, and soldiers who went out of the castle without permission. They brought him here for a few hours and later released. And this room is well ventilated. Yeah, let's check the one for Africans.
Well ventilated. And no ventilation.
Okay, yeah, let's go in.
And so,
I think God, they are soldiers or what?
Oh, well, they are fighting for their freedom.
no ventilation.
Blood. There's no blood.
There's no blood here. So please, let's come. We are in the condemned cell or death cell for male slaves. The male slaves, those who were fighting for their freedom. They brought them here in chains and were given no food and no water. They'll be here till you die. And let me show you something. And the whole thing, it wasn't meant for ventilation. That was what the soldiers used to check if anyone is dead here. So when they look traces that you are dead, they'll come here, pick you, tie stones to your hands and legs, and throw into the sea. And the walls here, the slanted walls. You have one here, another one there. They are buttresses. They were built by the Dutch to strengthen the walls of the castle so that the building will not collapse. And the iron railings on top. The castle was used by the British as a police training school in 1948. So the policemen were climbing up and down as exercise. And this building at the center of the courtyard is the Portuguese church. And this, it was the first Roman Catholic church, which was built in Gold, today Ghana. It was built in 1586. But when the Dutch captured the castle, they were Protestants. So they didn't use the Roman Catholic church. They built their church upstairs. And the church was divided into two. Upper floor used as junior soldiers' mess, where the soldiers were eating and drinking. And the ground floor as a slave auction hall, where they were buying and selling slaves. The British used this place as classrooms when the castle was police training school. But today it's a museum where you can see pictures, artifacts of old Elmina. From here we are climbing upstairs. So my name is Desmond Kwa, and I'm going to be your guide for the tour of the castle. And before we start going around, I'll give you a short history of the castle. Elmina Castle was built by the Portuguese in 1482. And when the castle was first built, all the rooms on the down floor were used as storerooms or warehouses where the Portuguese were keeping their goods. Goods such as guns, gunpowder, building materials, tobacco, textiles. In the 16th century, that's the 1500s going, the Portuguese started the transatlantic slave trade. When the slave trade started, all the rooms on the down floor were changed into dungeons where they were keeping African slaves. And we had about 1,000 slaves in the castle, 600 men, 400 women. And when it comes to this courtyard, we had about 400 women in the rooms down here. In 1637, the Dutch, today we call them Holland or Netherlands, they came to attack the Portuguese and capture the castle from the Portuguese. The Dutch, they were here in 1807. The British abolished slave trade. In 1814, the Dutch also abolished slave trade for two reasons. One, humanitarian reasons. Some churches were preaching against slave trade. And two, industrial revolution. More machines were invented, so the work of man can't be done by machines, so slave trade was abolished. So this castle became very expensive for the Dutch to maintain. So in 1872, the Dutch sold the castle to the British and went away. The British, they came when the slave trade was abolished. So the castle was used as their office. But that doesn't mean the British didn't participate in the slave trade. They participated. But there's another castle called the Cape Coast Castle, which they built in Cape Coast in 1665 for the slave trade. And the British were here till Ghana gained her independence in 1957. So Elmina Castle, as it's standing now, is 543 years old. And the Portuguese were here for 155 years. Dutch, 235 years. British, 85 years. And Ghana, 68 years. And we are still counting. And also when they come here, this town is called Elmina. The Portuguese first came here in 1471. And they were trading in gold. And at that time, we had a system of trade called barter system of trade. Exchange for goods for goods. So the Portuguese, they brought goods such as guns, gunpowder, building materials, tobacco, textiles, liquor, to exchange for local goods such as gold, ivory, and spices. But they were looking for gold. And the way among the locals exchanged the gold for their goods, they were thinking the town was an abundance of gold. So they called this town Elmina. Elmina in Portuguese means the mine, a gold mine. But it was correct by locals to be Elmina. And also they called this town Aldia. Aldia in Portuguese means a village. And it was also corrupted to be Edna. So the names of this town, Elmina, Edna, they are all wrongly pronounced Portuguese words. But before the Portuguese came, this town was called Anomansa. Anomansa means water that doesn't get finished. Anoma on san. Anomansa.
Okay, Anomansa.
So that's the history of the castle. Any question? And down here, we have a water reservoir, or a system built by the Portuguese. the Portuguese connected pipes here. When it rains, water passes through. It will be filtered here by stones, and water will come here. And this contains 20,000 gallons of water. And it was used to cook, wash, and drink. But when the Dutch captured the castle, they were thinking the Portuguese might have poisoned their water. So they didn't use the water here. They went to build theirs in the courtyard, and that one is 3 times bigger than this. So 60,000 gallons of water. But the scientists, they have tested and it's not poisonous. So the water we to paint the castle and do construction work for the castle. We had about 400 women here, 150, 150, 100. We are going to the largest female dungeon. They are roots. They brought them here for a